Hi, my name is Eden Fenn. I am a writer mostly of science fiction fantasy, currently working on a novel. And yeah, I was born in Danvers, Massachusetts, where the Salem witch trials happened, but I've lived most of my life in either Baltimore or Philadelphia, and I'm back in Baltimore for the time being and loving it. I am revising a novel. The novel is called The Candle at Both Ends, and it's a contemporary fantasy horror book that's about a person, a young woman named Soph in her mid 20s. She gets a job at this kind of mysterious nonprofit that's fighting climate change. They have these magic books that they're using to do that work, and she discovers that each time the staff do magic, they have to pay with an hour of their lives. It's drawing pretty heavily from some experiences I've had in like mission driven organizations and just exploring kind of how um, companies or nonprofits with a strong mission focus like that can bring people in and then kind of use that to extract a lot of labor and effort and energy from them. So, yeah, it's been a really fun book to write. My agent gave me feedback on it a couple months ago, and I'm trying to like knock out a full third of the book revision wise while I'm here, and it's going pretty well.
Can you talk about when in your life you began your creative pursuit and what led you
Yeah,
there?
yeah, that's a great question. It's embarrassing. I think the first time I really got it in my brain that I could be a writer was in middle school. I had an English teacher who was very focused on creative writing assignments, and like I got a lot of praise and a lot of positive feedback from her. And so I think I responded very readily to that and was like, wow, this is something I'm good at that I can feel good about. And ever since then, yeah, I've been engaged in storytelling in different ways. I've done a lot of music, not terribly well, but like I've always been interested in the lyrical kind of narrative aspects of songwriting. I was briefly in a company trying to do narrative in video games, which was really cool, and is still like a great passion of mine. But yeah, I've always just come back to written stories because it gives me such creative freedom to like anything I can think to do in a story or a book, I can do myself, and like I'm not limited by budget or kind of the skill of other collaborators. Like I really feel like I can make the world as I want it.
Where do you typically draw your inspiration from? Is it a person, a place, a book, an experience?
Oh, that's a great question. So I have a lot of really brilliant artistic friends, and I feel like very enriched by the community in Baltimore that I live in. My friend Laura runs a writing workshop that was what got me back to into writing after like a college slump, and we've been doing that for like 7 or 8 years now. And yeah, so being in creative community feels very inspiring and very motivating to me. And seeing other people do the work, I think, is a great guide toward doing the work myself. I also, yeah, I get a lot from setting. Being at Azule has been really, really cool because just yesterday we were talking about kind of the incredibly delayed gratification of trying to write a novel. My last one I worked on for 5 years and it still has not yet been published. And this one I've worked on for a year and a half and counting. So, yeah, there is a lot of patience and a lot of kind of seeing the vision very far out that goes into like choosing to do that and continuing to engage with it. And one of the cool things about being at Azul, besides like the natural beauty, is it's such a space that is a product of vision and a product of like great creative passion and effort over a long sustained period of time. It's like seeing like what the work of decades can build, and how like that like really kind of long delayed gratification work can pay off and people much later can come and receive it and have their lives be enriched by it. So that's been really cool.
It's the last question. Is there a best piece of advice you've received you would like to share with others?
Ooh, the first one that comes to mind is I think it was from the writer Anne Lamott has like a book on the craft of writing called Bird by Bird, and I read it when I was probably like 19, and I don't remember a lot of it, but I remember four words, and those four words are write shitty first drafts. I think prior to encountering that, and still I wrestle with it for sure. But I think there is a lot of resistance that artists have within themselves in terms of worrying the work won't be good enough or not feeling like they've received kind of the creative muse. And like I've found that just like allowing myself to do something badly and allowing myself to fail is a great way to build a practice and build momentum and not get paralyzed and self-doubt before I've even created anything. And then if the first draft does end up being shitty, it's much easier to go back and improve something that exists than to still be looking at the blank page.